Hello, we are now going to talk about risk analysis features in Oceania. To run a risk analysis, the button is up in the top right-hand corner, and what this does is look at all of the vessels within the region of interest and determines, based on the criteria entered by the user, if these vessels meet the definition of risk. So before running the risk analysis, it's a good idea to click the settings button to review the risk analysis settings. The first criteria is what countries has a vessel visited. We can start with as little as one. We could say all countries that have been to the United States qualifies as risk. We can also add to that, have these vessels included patterns of behavior that are anomalous in terms of AIS transmission. So we can check this off. This will greatly reduce the number of vessels, as it would be those that have visited the United States, but that have also exhibited anomalous AIS transmission behavior. We can also add a rendezvous detection algorithm. This filters it down again to vessels within these selected vessels that have rendezvoused with another vessel in the analysis period. And the analysis period is set here on the final setting, number of days to analyze, which is currently set to 120, but can actually be set all the way up to 180, which is approximately 6 months. I'm going to keep this down to about 90. I will include AIS anomaly detections, and I will leave out rendezvous to make sure that we get a good selection of vessels. Save the criteria, the window will close. Now to activate the risk analysis, simply click the Activate Risk Analysis button. You'll see in the lower left that the algorithm is currently running, and it will give an update when the algorithm is finished. Once the risk analysis algorithm is finished running, you'll see that any matching vessels that fall into these categories, these criteria for the risk analysis, will be displayed with a red circle and a risk indicator, as you can see on the screen here. I'll zoom now into one example, and I will click on the vessel. And in addition to the normal information that you can see when you click a vessel, such as the name and status of the vessel, you can also see a risk explanation at the bottom. In this case, it says, based on your risk criteria, this vessel has visited a country of interest in the last 90 days and is currently showing abnormal AIS activity. You can also show a full risk report by clicking this button, and this will actually show the countries that it has visited, as well as if you had entered rendezvous as a criteria, it would indicate where that occurred and what vessel it rendezvoused with. This is the full risk report. We'll close that. And you can also see all of the vessels that have been identified in the risk analysis in the vessels showing risk tab at the bottom of the application. So these vessels are displayed not only in the map by the red symbol, but also in the map table at the bottom, where you can see additional information such as the type of vessel, registered country, vessel name, MMSI, and IMO. When you've run a risk analysis, you can not only identify them on the map, you can also show only those risk vessels to declutter the map and remove all other non-risk vessels. We can label the vessels as well for a quick view at the vessel name. This concludes the risk analysis. Thank you for watching.